Hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you. Hope everybody's doing fantastically. I'm here with my buddy Pat. Yo, 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 Pat. You there, bud?
I'm here. Hope you guys are doing well. That's right. It's a good
Good. Got a
week.
bit of a skeleton crew here today, buddy. I don't know what's going on.
People
What's
are out making
happening?
money.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. That's it. That's what we want to hear. So, all good, but that's okay. Maybe today will be a little bit shorter, but let's find out. Tell you what. So, as per always, guys, this is a Q&A call. Pat and I provide the A. You guys provide the Q. So, if you got a question, you can chuck it in that box, or you can just raise your hand, and we'll open you up, and we will have a chat. And in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to open up a couple lines and see how everybody is doing. I'm going to Michelle Doss. Michelle Doss, we are coming for you and want to say hello. You're self-muted, though, my love. You'll have to unmute. There she is. Michelle, you're live.
Well, hello there, Carl and Pat.
Hey.
How's everyone doing?
We're doing fabulous. What's happening in Michelle's world?
Good. I wanted to come on. I had a question, a general question. Actually, it's just an overview of sorts. But in terms of the software integration with the digital software, I'm finding that when I'm speaking with clients, there's a level of confusion, and maybe perhaps I'm not expressing myself correctly in terms of which software would be much more pronounced in terms of their initial assessment versus taking a more targeted approach once I understand where their gaps are, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Talk to me about your digital marketing background.
Well, I'm actually learning a little bit more each day. Hence, my goal is to enroll in the digital marketing software very, very soon. But in terms of just understanding today's market trends between some of the businesses, whether they're startups, whether they're some of the tenured ones, it's a vast world, and I'm trying to kind of meet in the middle between these various organizations and businesses that want to lean more heavily into, let's just say, social media, so forth.
Yeah, I'm going to give you my answer, Pat. I'd like to hear what you would say, but here's my feedback. It's just, if I don't need to sit with the business that you're talking about, and I'm going to say with 90% predictability, but of course that's just kind of an arbitrary number I'm throwing out there. But do they have the upsell? Do they have the downsell? Do they have the cross? Just look at the 12 areas of the jump start. And I would dare say the chances of them having that in place are like close to zero. So the digital marketing, sexy and delusional is the way that I describe it, right? It's all what they want. It'll get you in the door, but then you can go, look, before we go and really, get your digital marketing and put this thing on steroids, I want to get a bit of a feel as to where you're at generally with your business, right? And then they go ping, ping, ping. And now you go, hang on, because you probably heard me riff on this in the past, but like everybody should do Facebook ads, or pretty close to everybody, but they're just not ready. And when I say not ready, they're at least 6 months away. But all these digital marketers come in and then they present digital, marketing as this massive solution to the world's problems. And really what they do is they just dig the business owner into a deeper hole. Like if they have a cash flow problem and they're like, oh my God, Facebook ads are the solution, right? Well, if you have a cash flow problem, the chances of Facebook ads being the solution are incredibly slim, right? So do you see that kind of positioning? So you can go in with the digital marketing, sexy, delusional, look, let's talk about your strategy and what you're up to. Because remember, in the 12 areas on profit acceleration, digital marketing is there. Like it is one of the sections. So you could lead with that. You could do it, say, third. So you could make that one of the sections you go to, and then you've covered both bases. So that's my answer. That help?
Okay.
That help?
Yes, it does. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Carl. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's cool. But Pat, I just like to hear, Pat, what do you think? Do you agree? Add anything?
Yeah, I'm on this. Can you see my screen, Michelle?
Yeah. Oh, right.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm on the digital acceleration jumpstart, and you see down the right side here, there's 7 areas of our profit jumpstart. And yeah, you could start in here on the market dominating position, the compelling offer, things like that, before you go to the digital side as well. So because there are things that they do need to handle, the market dominating position especially. So you could find them the breakthroughs in these 7 areas, and then you could come over here if you like as well. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds great. Thanks again, Pat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, Michelle, great question, though. Great question. We'd love it. We were just going to say hi to Michelle, and look at that. She gave us a question. So isn't that just,
and
she's,
look what's on the screen here. It's brand new. You can print this whole summary page now.
Oh, boom. Oh, there we go.
Okay. I just saw it this, like right now. It's the first time I've seen it. So I made some updates. But
look at this, folks. Oh, that's sexy. Boom.
Let's see what happens, see what it looks like. So.
Ooh. Well, there we go. I love it.
It looks like it comes out pretty nicely there, so it's good.
Awesome. Good job. Love it. Well, there we go. So, all right. Tell you what, let's go back up. Who else do we got here? Michelle, I might go to Mark Reed. Mark Reed, we're going to open you up. And again, guys, if you got a question, you got to ping us here with a question. Mark, you are self-muted if you want to say hello. Get yourself. We're going to say hello, but we're also going to press you for a question, Mark. Word of warning, as you unmute yourself.
Or I'm going to ask Carl a question he can't answer.
Yeah, no. It's stump, remember? Guys, if we can't come up with a question, we're going to stump Pat. I'm too easy to stump. You ask me anything and you'll stump me. So Pat's much more fun. Okay, Mark. Okay, we're going to move on. So Mark is not available. It doesn't appear so. You're self-muted. That's okay. No worries, buddy. And we're going to move on. What about Justin Eli? Justin, we're going to open you up. You are self-muted. Got to unmute yourself. Don't be shy, peeps. See, it made you nervous. Hit Google and come up with a really innocuous, crazy question. If you can't think of something about the software, we'll ask Pat. See what happens. Okay, Justin, being shy. Also, okay, so we're going to go up to...
There's Justin.
Oh, there he is. Justin, you're live.
Hey, there we go. I was on mute delay, apparently. I'm not sure what was...
Well, there's a new function. We just learned something new. How's it going? What's happening?
Yeah. Good. Hey, I don't have any questions. I'm new. So I haven't done a whole lot with the software yet. So I'm just here to listen and learn.
Awesome. So you're a newbie?
I'm a newbie.
Cool. And that's what I want to hear. So I'm going to praise you. So what we do is when you don't have a question, we play Stump Pat. So give me a crazy question that you don't think he'll be able to answer. Something like calculus from high school, you know? Something. Okay, Pat, here you go. I'll help you out. I got one. What goes up and never, this is for Pat. This is for both of you. Let's see if you can answer. What goes up and never comes down?
I've heard
My
this.
daughter loves these little riddles.
The 4th grade, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not overly challenging. It's challenging for me, not for Pat. Justin, any ideas? What goes up and never comes down? We're going to try stump you too.
No ideas.
Pat, stab?
What goes up and never comes down? No, I give up with it. Yeah.
Your age. Yeah, that's Pat's way of saying this is really stupid, man. Can you please move on? Oh, good. Okay, Justin, there you go. We stumped Pat. So sorry, Justin, I turned you up. There you go. We're going to put you back on mute, but honor to have you here, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. Okay, we're in Jay's here. We're going to go up to Justin. Justin, yourself. We need some questions here, guys. You got to raise your hand or plunk it in there. Otherwise, we're going to be stumping Pat all day here. Justin, yourself muted, my friend. Actually, there's 2 of you here. So I'll make sure I unmute both of them. Justin Carvelho. Cool last name, by the way. Well done. Ho, ho, ho on the end. Justin, yourself muted, buddy. Say hello to us. He's not going to say hello. We had a lot of shy people
Hello,
here today.
everybody. Sorry.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, that's okay. How you doing, man?
How you
You're
guys
live.
doing?
We're doing great. Hang on a second. There he is, Justin. School. What's happening, Justin? Whereabouts are you, bud?
Well, I did all the initial stuff to get the website rolling, and then I never heard back. So I'm I'm in extreme limbo.
Okay, cool. It takes a week to get it all up and live, just FYI. So just email whenever you get a question like that, email the support guys, and they'll help you out. But it takes 7 days to get everything live, FYI.
In a few weeks now.
Cool, man. So what about the software? Have you got a chance to get into the software?
No.
No, well, that's no fun. Okay, so you're going to have to come up with a difficult question to stump Pat. No, I'm just joking. We'll move on from that one. That was lame that last time. Cool. All right, Justin. Everything good though? Other than that, you ready to rock and roll and unleash yourself as a business coach?
I'm working on it.
Beauty. Okay, awesome. Look, it's an honor to have you on board here. We're going to put you back on mute. All right, John Kosar. He's always good for a good question and something very cool. So, John Kosar, we're coming. Oh, where'd you go? He disappeared. Oh, here he is. John, you're live.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Kosar? What's happening?
Oh, you know what? I'm doing okay.
Good to hear. When you say okay, is that okay in a good way, or is that okay in a funk with the COVID world?
No, it's a business-wise, things are going really, really, really good. So that's a positive.
Awesome.
Fighting a cold, and I really hope it's a cold.
Oh, I got you. Okay, that's no fun.
So that's kind of the funk. Nothing yet in regards to any software questions. So far, everything's working. I've got ideas, but again, I'm waiting to see what you guys are going to come up with. Sounds as though there's some exciting stuff coming down the pike.
Cool. Beautiful. And those listening, John gave us one of the really cool little minor improvements, but a really powerful one. If you look at Pat's screen there, you see results analysis. So we're talking to John. If you go back, it was a number of calls now, but if you go back and listen to it, you can see him basically saying, here's what I created, he made like an Excel spreadsheet. And then Pat and I are like, what do you mean? Explain. And we're like, oh my God, we got to create that. So Pat went to work, and literally, it was like 7 days later, we're like, hey, here it is. What do you think? And so that was cool. So John's always good for some really cool, funky ideas with the software. So it was his idea to do this results analysis that Pat's now on. So very cool. Well, John, I'll tell you what, man.
As far as stumping Pat, I got one, but it's a physical.
Oh, good. Okay, let's hear it.
Physical. So all you got to do, Pat or Carl, just rotate your right ankle in a clockwise position.
Okay, I'm doing it.
All right, and now with your hand, write the number 6 without stopping rotating your ankle.
Oh, that didn't work very well. My ankle, it's like I got a twitch. Jump back the other way. How'd you do, Pat? Did you get it?
Yeah, that was an easy one for me.
Oh,
but my ankles don't rotate very far.
There you go. Cool. Good job. Well, you stumped me. There you go. Pat got it as per usual, but I got stumped. We're used to that. All right, John, you're a legend, man. We really help you get better, man. So
I appreciate
look after yourself.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the software's still operating great, and I'll have to give you an update as well as to what's going on in the business in a little bit. So
awesome. Okay, cool. All right, John. Well, we appreciate you, buddy. Look after yourself, man. Gonna chuck you back on mute here. All right, somebody's got their hand up. This is exciting. Jesse Johnson. Oh, Jesse, this board's acting funny today. There we go. Jesse, you're live.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. So I'm new as well to just the network, but not new to coaching. And so I guess my question as I'm digging into the softwares, how do you guys recommend potentially implementing it with existing clients that are already on a retainer? Like, is there value of coming back if you're already in kind of a coaching program with somebody and then leveraging the software to add more value, or to extend a contract, or how would you go about that?
Yeah, beauty. Actually, give me an example of one of the clients that you're working with, and how long you've been working with them, and how much you're charging them.
Yeah, so let's go. Got a florist. They run about $1.5 million in revenue, 2 shops. I've been working with them for 12 months. $2,500 a month.
Good job.
And have been working with them in regards to a lot of started with more executive leadership strategy for the business, and then breaking down their revenue streams and things. And then so there's a good example, I guess. I work with them also. I like that marketing strategy. So I come from an advertising and sales background as well. So awesome. She's in a spot where we've got her web sales are about $300K of that revenue, and we've got it up 20% in the last 3 months.
Awesome.
And so, like, that's a spot where I'm looking at potentially adding those plugins and doing the deep dive with the digital marketing component, because I think if we can increase that, there's some other good potential ways, but I'm not sure how to leverage this software to help me in that and communicating that and everything.
So, and again, I'm going to throw to Pat here in a sec, but so what I'd always do is I would do like a quarterly review. So pick maybe like you're at 12 months approximately. So this would be your annual review. And at the annual review, we got our ducks in a row. Whether, I'd probably just tell them straight up, this is just something I've undertook, or it might not be something, you might not want to position it in that fashion, but just say, look, at the annual review, here's what we often do. I rip you through a little bit of a deep dive, or a digital. I need to throw it to you in terms of which one you decide to do. But if you feel like the digital marketing is really where the relationship's going, and you did 300, and you feel like you can really get that up to 600, et cetera, maybe you want to do the digital marketing to say that now that we've got the foundation in place, let's go a little bit deeper, and then rip them through the digital software. Because what you're going to find on either, like, you do the deep dive, and first it's going to take a long, like, before you do the deep dive with your client, you're definitely going to want to go through and practice a little bit. But I'm going to tell you, after you've gone through that, let's call it an 8-hour process. If you went from A to Z, what you should really do is probably go into roughly half of the areas, and the areas where they're going to be impacted, like sales team would be an example of where you'd go. But if they don't have a sales team, obviously you wouldn't go there, right? But basically go into half the areas, but you're going to find after you undertake the process, some of the little nuances and some of the little, we'll call it rabbit holes, or the rocks that you lift up that you would have never otherwise thought about, to go, oh my goodness, like, this is a laydown for these guys. And what would that be? Again, undertake the process and just watch what happens. But, something like, do you want fries with that? Do they have no doubt they have an effective cross-sell in place and upsell in place, but is there one that you haven't thought of that you could really ramp up as an example? And that process could uncover a whole lot of those. So that's what I'd say. I would position it as the annual review, and do it that way, and do a half. And it's not just a 1-hour call. This is where, you guys get together. She turns the phones off, turns the internet off, and you and them get together and really, spend, 2 to 4 hours really, digging up some rocks, if you know what I mean. That's what I do. Like that? Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And Pat, let me throw it over to you. Yeah. What would you say there?
I'd say, do the annual review or do a quarterly review. If it's, you might, depending on your relationship with that client, you might say, hey, look, just as we're helping you grow, I'm always improving my skills. I've brought in some profit acceleration software we're going to use in the next review to find some additional breakthroughs for you. And you might run them through the profit acceleration Jumpstart 40, because then you get, I think it's just 27 areas, but then you get just like 5 or so questions in each area. Let's have a look here. And so you can actually run that through. It's not going to take you 8 hours to take them through this. but a solid probably 3. So you might say, let's set aside a morning. Let's do a review and let's see if we can find some other areas to find that impact. And then, unfortunately, we don't blend in the full digital marketing questions in here. So you would have to open up another tab and ask questions about content marketing and digital advertising, things like that. So yeah, that's how I'd run it. But yeah, you'll be amazed as you run clients through this, all the areas that you've never thought of that would be beneficial for them. So I definitely use it.
There you go.
Sounds great. Thanks.
That helps. Yeah. So do you like that positioning of the annual review?
Yeah, and I think I've kind of already planted some seeds in our last couple calls around, hey, like I'm working on streamlining some processes and making the data collection a little bit easier with some softwares, which is true from organizational to the profit acceleration software. And so I think it'll be a seamless one. It's just on that timing, and I'll have to play with it and make sure that I am efficient. So I like that Jumpstart 40 idea, especially for somebody that is used to my existing process. And then as I get stronger at it, then I'll roll it out with newer clients, sell it as a standalone, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And with some of the other clients, you might be in a different, like you might do it as a 6-month review, and another one it's the quarterly review. What have you. That's a good way to position it and make it, feel natural. Sound good? Awesome.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
thanks.
Jesse. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. I'm going to put you back on mute. I'm sure where he went. There we go. All right. Where are we going to go here next? What about our buddy Brian? Brian Duckworth, we're coming for you. We're hanging out in the sun, Bells Beach, Australia, doing it hard. Old Brian, hanging out in a Speedo. Did I just say Speedo? Speedo. Come on, he's not opening up. Look, we've intimidated him. Come on. Oh, here he is. Brian Duckworth, what's happening, man?
How are you? Well, we're no sunshine today, so not down to bells today, I can tell you.
No.
Ice on the water.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I don't believe you. There's no ice on the water there, man. No chance.
There's no ice on the water, but it's not exactly warm yet.
Cool. What's happening, Brian? Throw us a question. What do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot, as we love to do.
Throw us a question. The digital marketing book from the virtual business camp.
Yep.
How do we go about organising that? Because I've missed the last few calls with Adrian.
Okay. You know what? Just send the support guys an email and they'll respond. Yeah, they'll just respond with the details. I'm not sure. Just send support an email, Brian, and they'll get it sorted out for you.
Okay.
That's actually
really like that print command that Pat just found. That's a really good one.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice and easy and right there in your face. That's a handy one.
Yeah. Now,
cool,
all right.
cool.
You wanted a question. You've got a sole trader, solopreneur.
Yep.
They've just started out. They've got no income per se to start working with, so financials are non-existent.
Yep.
How would you approach running a Jumpstart 12 with them?
Yeah, I just put in some temp. Just put 100,000 in you could just put 100,000 in as their revenue, depending upon like what's the business they have. Extrapolate the numbers out and assume that, look, I think in year one, a good goal is to get to X, whatever, 100, 255, whatever the number is, right? Let's just use 100 grand as the, the template. And then, well, you're an accountant, right? So you're going to have a pretty good idea as their gross and net. If you don't, of course, right, you just go to the drop down menu and then you just pick the category of business they're in and it'll give, like the industry standard. So that's what I would do. I would just start with numbers that appear to be right, by how much you guys are going to be charging. Realistically, how many clients can we get? Okay, here's the number we're going to start with, and then just go from there, just as per normal. That's what I do.
Okay, well, you wanted the question, so I have to give you one, didn't I?
Yeah, that's good. And Pat, no doubt you'd agree with that, I'd imagine.
Yep, very good.
Cool. There we go. All right, Brian,
Okay.
we appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, Brian.
All right.
As always, he's back to surfing. All right, well, I'll tell you what, guys. If anybody's got a question, you got to raise your hand. Pat and I got about 1 million things on our to-do list. So if we don't have any more questions, actually, Michelle, you were talking about digital marketing. You probably just heard Brian mention the digital marketing book, and for that matter, anybody else. If you guys grab basically what we did is we did a virtual event not long ago, a month ago or whatever it was, where we brought in just a lot of our high-end guys, and they were guys and gals, and they were, giving their step-by-step roadmap on how they would get to $100,000 in 90 days as a business coach from a standing start. And they all fundamentally answered the same question and did it. So Michelle or anybody else interested in having their own digital marketing book, which I think is a really good idea. If you get the recordings, you'll also get that book. So anyway, so if you're interested in that, you heard Brian, you're like, what the heck is that? That's what that's all about. So there you go. But if we don't have any more questions, Pat, is there anything you wanted to show them that print button? We did that. Is there anything else? Hang on a sec. We got another. Before I do, hang on. Let's open up. Daniel has got himself a question here.
Hey guys.
Hey. How's it going, Daniel? What's happening?
So yeah, I really liked the look of that digital marketing assessment that Pat brought up on the screen. I was trying to find it on my software, and I just seem to have the 3.
You got to upgrade. Yeah, you send Adrian an email, and if you want digital, it's $200, $197.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Just a one-time fee to upgrade it.
Okay.
So yeah, just send Adrian an email, and he'll organize it all for you. But it's well worth doing, as you can see, and most definitely.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You bet, buddy. No worries, Daniel. Appreciate it. Oh, hang on, Mark. Look at this. Mark's got a question. Mark, this board's acting weird today. Mark, you're self-muted.
Hello again.
Oh, there he is. Hey.
Hey, yeah, I'm finally getting to where I need to be, which is going through PASS and running through its different trials and entering in test companies, etc. And at one point for the valuation, I was doing an HVAC company, and it put in as a value. I put a head down that's I think 100,000 in assets, and it had a valuation at the bottom that was at 800,000, and it said it was a valuation that it was put in automatically. And so I was wondering if that was based on the other numbers that I put in for the business financials, or if it instead was something that was as a result of an estimation for the type of company.
No, it's for the individual. Pat, you go. You answer this one.
Yeah, well, we see here the current revenue on this business example is $1 million. And so what we've done is, as a default, we just put that same $1 million in what's the business been valued at. So it's just, if you're not sure, you can use the number already in the box. So, sometimes a business will sell time, for 1x revenue, annual revenue. So we take that as a starting point, and then all the other 9 questions will either increase the valuation or decrease it. So for example, in the first question, over the past 3 years, has your revenue been steady or growing or declining? Well, if it's been growing by 10% a year, you would say 110.
Right. Got
right.
that.
Okay. These are ballpark numbers for inventory and assets. And then each of these questions here will increase your valuation or decrease it. So if you have the financials prepared, there's an X factor behind it, but it'll bump it up a little bit. If you say no, it's going to bump it down a little bit. So for each of those, all the way through. So, but in the end, this is not, and this is what we say here, this is not something you take to the bank. This is a sales
understood.
tool, right?
Right.
So we just want to say, hey, look, if you did this action, not only are you going to, or the set of actions for this one, not only are you going to see your revenue increase from 1 million to 1.94 mil, you'll see your profit increase this much and this percent. You'll see a 5-year profit impact of $2.49 million because you need to cement in those changes with good policies and procedures and train around those. But I mean, look at your business value. It can go from about 1.2 mil to 1.857 mil. So it's really just kind of a sales tool. It's a motivation to get stuff done.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, when I did the first, started my first one and was put in for an HVAC company, I was looking for something more defined for the type of business. And finally, I just selected general utility. I didn't know if there was, I looked at it all, went through it about 4 times and didn't find anything that was more relevant to an HVAC firm other than general utility.
Yeah, so for the financials there, if you can't find your industry, and there's only about 100 there, and there's obviously we're short on many of them. So what we do then is we say other, and you do your research, aside from, just outside, like what are the average profit margins for an HVAC company, and just enter them here. And that would be the way I'd handle that.
Okay. It wasn't so much as a complaint, but as an observation.
Sure. Yep. I hear you.
Okay. Cool. Excellent question. And guys, just for the benefit of you, Mark, but also just everybody listening, I'd see the valuation is something that I just think as business coaches might be the right word is, but just not utilized or emphasized the way that it should. Like if you invest in real estate, obviously, if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you want to, the mortgage is $1,000 a month, whatever the number is, and then you charge your client $1,200. And obviously you get a $200,000, a $200 per month. Like that's your income, right? $200 a month, obvious. Where the real money in real estate is made is on the increase in the value and, the capital gains on the house over time, right? They will always trump, significantly. They should. And of course, if you buy well, that's very important. But what I'm getting at here is when you invest in real estate, the real money is made in the capital gains on the home, not in the $200, $300, $1,000 a month you make on the rental payments. It's the same with a business. When you go in and you create, the upsell, the downsell, the cross sell, the proper upfront offer, et cetera, you go into the 12 areas of profit jumpstart and you get those things put in place. Basically what they're doing is they're building a business that is now systematized, that is worth significantly more and is going to work a lot closer to autopilot than it did when you came. The value of that is unbelievable. Like if I go into a business and they made, again, let's just arbitrarily say $1 million last year, and I take them to 1.2. Look, is that a huge return? Is that an okay return? It's somewhere in the middle, but it's certainly not bad, right? But that $200,000 that I have helped them increase, that's going to take the valuation of their company. And we can only assume that $200,000 was done in a systematic manner, because again, as a business coach, that's a lot of my job, right? Is to help them create these processes. So, and if you watch, no doubt you guys are probably fans of Dragon's Den or Shark Tank and so many other shows like that. You'll see that they talk like valuation is something that Shark Tank is basically based on valuation, right? So, and I think before Shark Tank, that valuation was something that was not really understood at any level in, the average business circle. So my way of saying that's a really good question, and that's a really important part of the software that I think is not utilized at the level. When I'm selling somebody coaching, I want to be able to say to them, look, you're building up an asset that you're going to be able to sell, right? And that's super. And then there's also the systemization could lead to a licensing opportunity or a franchising opportunity that again takes that, puts it on steroids. So something to think about. I hope that's a benefit to the guys, for you, Mark, and those listening, but valuation is a really important number. And I don't think that it's understood or utilized in the business coaching world the way that it should. So
is there a general rule of thumb for the formula of valuation based on, net profit or gross sales, whatever it might be per year?
Yeah, not really. Take net profit and multiply it by 3 to 10. So then just say you multiply it by 5 and you're going to be somewhere near the vicinity of what it would be. So if I would, I would say net profit multiplied by 5 if you pushed me to say, give me a template. But it, like, okay, an example, a restaurant, you could do $1 million with your restaurant, and it's really not worth anything to me because a restaurant is a nightmare to own, right? Food, wastage, staff, low-end staff, low margins, etc., right? And there's a freaking million of them, right? Versus you own a car wash and you do $1 million a year and everything's automated and I got to hire one guy for $10 an hour to stand there and make sure that everything's operating at a decent level. Now that business is worth significantly more than the other, right? So in other words, the car wash is going to get a multiple of 7 and your restaurant's going to get a multiple of 2, right? You follow me there? So and by the way, that's kind of what I would give you as a guide there. And that's why online, like when you build a business online, like especially what we have, right, with the membership sites and that sort of stuff, and what, we're working on behind the scenes, which Pat's we're not going to talk about it too much, but we got some really cool stuff happening where we're going to be helping you guys as coaches to build something that's a little more significantly more systematized. And I tell you that the value of your business coaching company, if you get it built up the way that we plan to, set it up and then help you guys build, the valuation on your company is going to get an excellent multiple because it's virtual, it's going to be recurring, and it's not going to be time for money. So that's the answer to that one, Mark, is it's very subjective and it depends on the kind of business you have. And that's what dictates the valuation, which has been built in to the software. But as Pat said, it's pretty loosey-goosey. It's not something you're going to go and take to the bank. Does that help?
Right. Understood. Yes. Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Pat, anything you'd say on that? Showing any blanks for me?
Well, I was thinking about valuation. Let me just see here. So, there's so many different ways to value a business, and none of which is necessarily the right way. So you could value it by cash flow, you could value it by book value, by revenue multiples, by multiple net profits. And depending who you talk to, they're going to give you different answers. Of course, how you should value it, and maybe in different countries and different places and different industries of which your business is in. So what we try to do is just do something that was just kind of a good general ballpark. And then we worked with a business broker to make sure that our questions were good ones and our formulas were correct enough. But it's not going to be accurate necessarily. It's just really then a sales tool again. So.
Yep. There you go. But again, a sales tool that I think is underutilized, and that's something I want to bring across. Okay, Jesse. Jesse, you got a question, I think. Where are you, Jesse? See Jesse on here? Here he is. Jesse, you're self-muted.
Yeah, thanks for unmuting me.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, and I kind of back again to how to leverage the software, or should I with current clients. So one of my coaching clients is actually a coaching firm here in my local city. So they've been around for 15 years. They got affected a little bit by COVID. And so my question is two-pronged. One would be, would this software be something that would be relevant to a coaching organization as I'm coaching their strategic partnership arm and their owner on the joint venture partnerships or business development strategy for their coaching? And then the second one kind of to that is, I have a feeling that if I do implement it with them, they're going to ask me, hey, where did you get the software? How should I handle that how should I handle that question? And or their primary audience that they're doing executive coaching with is in the $100 million companies and above. We might be co-partnering on a project with a fairly sizable Fortune 100 company in the new year. But does this software have like a target size of a company? What have you guys found over the years, or as the time that you've been implementing it? Like, is there a range that this adds value versus some of the internal teams of some of the larger companies that we might run into? So sorry to throw it all at you at once, but wanted to give you
that's okay. Actually, Pat, you know what? I might let you go first, and then I want to talk to him about the coaching thing. Want to go?
Yeah, I'll handle the second question first. There is really no limit that I've found to a business that you can assess. I've assessed an airline before, done an assessment for an airline, a country's #1 internet service provider, Fairmont hotels, things like that. So it works for every big business because a lot of these ideas are fundamental to business. Even the $100 million business needs a market dominating position or needs to work on one. They can all do upsells, cross sells, downsells, all those things. They can all find ways to get more leads. They can always do alliances and joint ventures. So yeah, I would say it's absolutely you could use it. Now, how you joint venture with them, if they're going to be walking into that kind of business, I would say definitely try and get a piece of it. So I'll let Carl take it from there.
Yeah. With the coaches, and it sounds like they've got some, like you said, the coaches that they've got, this is more executive coaching going on than business coaching. But basically what you can do is so with your platinum license with us, you can actually put one person underneath you. And then also, Jesse, what we have is we have a program for our successful coaches. Once you start to crush it, you need to put coaches underneath you. So we actually have another program where you build a team of 10 coaches that it sounds to me like you might be ripe for. So if you wanted to chat about that, you and I could get together and I could rip you through it. But so two things. One is you could take that company and they would go underneath you and frankly pay for, pretty much all your fees to us. And then secondarily, you might want to think about, doing that as a model because obviously you're successful with this. Having some coaches underneath you, I would guess would make sense. So.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm definitely open to a conversation like that. So for me, I won't take up everybody's time on that, but if I don't know how to best organize
just
that.
Reach out to me. Yeah, just whoever you just send me an email. Carl with a K at focused.com. I'll get me. Okay, so Carl at focused.com and we'll line something up if you want to chat about that. Two bananas, but does that help? All good?
Yeah, that's great. Just that one component of so I guess the answer would be hold off till you and I have a conversation before I would implement this.
Let me help you with that positioning. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do that. But most definitely, with the larger company, there is no doubt that, really think about like the things that they're doing well, you really want to go to it and pour gasoline, as opposed to start doing things that they're not currently doing. I think the software, it's just going to allow you to find some rocks to lift up that you're just currently not lifting up because you just haven't thought about it. Where you're going to be like, oh, wow, there's a huge opportunity. If they implement that, it's going to mean, significant boosts in revenue and hopefully a significant boost in profit as well, not just revenue. So there you go. Cool bananas.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Awesome. You bet. No worries. Oh, my buddy Dave's got a question. Fellow Canuck here. Just FYI, guys, Pat and I have 6 minutes, and then we need the bolt. So hang on. Where did he go? Dave, where are you? There he is. Dave, you're live.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Fabulous. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, busy, actually. Easily heading for my first 5-figure month, so.
Oh,
nice.
There you go. You want to hear?
Yeah, the question, I guess, Pat, was you showed that print option on the digital software. Is that available for all, like the Quick Start 12 and everything?
I don't know. We see here on the Jumpstart 12.
Yeah, I can see the print.
Go to Digital Breakthrough 40.
So when you showed it on. Yeah, okay. So it's on all of them. Perfect. And you had kind of made mention about someone who's not a digital expert staying away from the digital Jumpstart.
Well, if you're assessing someone who knows a lot more about something than you do, that's the problem. Because you can quickly get found out that you don't know what you're talking about. And they'll start asking you questions that you have no answers for, and then you lose credibility.
Okay, gotcha.
So okay. I would just avoid it unless you're versed in it.
I'm not in it. No, I'm not. So okay. That's all I have to ask about today.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, Dave, appreciate you, buddy. Awesome. I'm gonna put you back on mute. All right, Ski. Well, that is it, folks. We appreciate you guys. What day is it here? It's Tuesday, so Thursday. not the same time and the same place, but the same place, and 3 hours later than we started today. We're on for Thursday, which is 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And once again, come for the question. You see, we almost ended early, and then all of a sudden, boom, the questions come. So if you guys can come armed with some questions, that would be fantastic. But we appreciate you guys, Pat. We all appreciate your magic and genius, brother. And
still going.
Folks here. You bet, man. We do. Okay, awesome. So guys, we'll see you on. Hopefully, we'll see you on Thursday.